Hi, so it's week 4 of my artificial intelligence video diary kind of thing. I have Sarah and Brooke here to help me today, and we're going to talk about a little bit about death because I feel like I didn't get to explore it very much last week because of a time crunch situation, and then we're going to move on to information this week, guys. So the first question is, what is the value, if any, of death? Brooke kind of answered this last week, but
I think part of it is how it makes us value life. When we think about death, yeah, it's sad, but I think that when we think about it, we really come to appreciate, the time that we have to be alive and spend time with everyone.
right. It puts meaning into the time and kind of a deadline on, like, I only have so much time to do something, so makes you get stuff done. How do you feel about the possibility of technology extending life?
I'm not super in favor of it. I think it really just depends on the context of it, because if it's maybe for someone whose life would be prematurely ended because of, sickness or that kind of thing, then I think that's a good idea. But when it comes to maybe just dragging it out even longer, I don't think that that's what nature has intended for us, or God has intended for us.
Not in favor, except for maybe life support in some situations, because like some situations it gives a person's body like time to heal, and then like they can be taken off of it. But if it's literally just keeping them alive because their like relatives aren't ready to let them go, and I don't think it's right to just keep them on it for a really long time just for the sake of like their relatives. But.
Right. It kind of prolongs the healing process, I think, in those instances for sure. What some people are hypothesizing is that technology will actually be able to lengthen life in the way that a 60-year-old will have the functionality of their body will function the way a 40-year-old's function. And eventually it'll get to the point where like an 80-year-old is functioning the way that a 20-year-old would. And so your life is extended that way. And so you have a longer life that is good. It's not like sick in a hospital bed. How do you guys feel about that?
I think I stand by what I said before. It sounds great in theory, but I really don't think that that's what we're intended to do. I think that we have the time that we're given, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it goes against God's intentions because He gives us like the set time, and like we're not meant to really mess with that because it's not like our role to like play God. So.
Okay. Interesting. So you guys kind of answered this already. Should Christians reject this life extending technology then if it ever comes around? Is it unethical to accept this technology that will make you live as long as, who is it, Moses, that lived like 800 years?
Yeah, I think it is unethical because it is playing God, and it's extending life beyond like the intentions God has for us. But at the same time, I don't know if He would let that happen since it does go against His intentions, and like I don't really know how that would play out. But
I think part of it has to do with free will too. I know that God really gives us a hand in what we do with ourselves and what we do with our lives. So it might come around eventually. I don't know if it would be completely unethical. I just think that it would just be something that we shouldn't do. I don't even know if it has.
Why do we need to extend our life on earth when we can have a life forever in heaven?
Exactly.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me personally, and I think to you guys too.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So kind of along the same lines, do you think a machine, like if a machine were given a mind, in theory, whether you think if that could happen or not, if a machine could be given a mind, should that mind have an infinite lifespan? Should that mind be able to live on forever? It's not human.
When you say machine, do you mean
like artificial intelligence, like say Siri? Should Siri's head should be able to live on forever?
And do you mean like a human mind?
It has the capabilities of a human mind.
Okay.
So it thinks at the same rate and can process the same things, and maybe even a little bit better than a human could eventually, is what they're hypothesizing.
That's not grounds I'm super familiar with, so I can't really speak on it too much. I think that it wouldn't be as big of a deal. I mean, maybe it would be, but I just kind of think that if it's artificial intelligence and it's a machine, it isn't human. There are a lot of different factors that go into play that I think maybe wouldn't make it so bad if that happened. I don't really know a lot about it though.
Okay.
Wait, so are you meaning like if? Can you rephrase the question?
So, like, for instance, Siri. If Siri was able to function like a human and like think that way, and should her mind be able to live on indefinitely, like she's able to take in information and have memories and improve upon herself, should she be able to live on forever
I don't.
indefinitely?
I don't think it matters because it doesn't seem like she's still not a human. So I don't think it would really matter whether or not she could, because then again, like, it's not a real person, so it does play the same.
Now that I think about it though, maybe it would be a little bit dangerous if that happened.
If it kept escalating.
Now
the
that I'm
world.
thinking about it, like, if she has so much information and she goes on forever, I mean, that could be potentially harmful. I don't wanna live-
Harmful to humans,
Yeah.
not to machines
Yeah.
and other artificial intelligence. And I personally think that's because, like, we know we're really bad for this earth. We know we mess things up and we know we trash the environment and stuff like that. And so having something that can recognize that and have the capacity to put in a plan to fix it and just take us completely out of the equation because we know we're the problem terrifies me because I don't want to die yet. Like, yeah. So anyway, a little bit more of an elaboration on death there. So moving on to information, because this is the topic for this week. Why do humans hold so much value in information? Why do we want to know things? Why do we want to find out the next step or in depth?
I think that we perceive information as a step in making things better. Typically, when we search for more information, we're trying to solve a problem or we're trying to progress things in a way that will improve our lives and improve the quality of life. So I think we place a lot of value on research and development and that kind of thing, just because we think that it'll help us get better as society and as individuals.
Yeah, I agree. And I think information is a way of bettering our lives, and like that's why we go to school, like to gain more information so that we can get like a better job and improve our lives and like our family. And then also like society places such a huge like significance on information, just because in like all areas of life it can improve. So like in the medical field, like we're learning more about like how you can treat cancer and just to like make people's lives longer and improve like quality of life. So
Yeah. I think, since I study biology here at a Christian university, that studying and gaining this information about biological systems and the way that life works is an act of worship. It's studying creation, and I think to know your Creator is a step in building a relationship with Him, which God sees as worship and having a relationship with Him. And so that's why I think humans value information, whether they put that connection together or not. That's what's actually happening.
That was a really nice answer.
Thank you. So along those lines, is information something Christians should value?
I think, again, that's kind of circumstantial. For me, I think that, as long as we're really trying to better things and improve upon things in a way that isn't harmful, and it's really just with pure intention, I think information is great to pursue. And as far as, Christian knowledge goes, like you were talking about, knowing our Creator and knowing all the things about how we got here and who we are, I think that it's really good to question that in a healthy way and pursue answers in that direction as long as we're being diligent about it and faithful about it and, you know, kind of safe about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we were, like, put on this earth to learn because, in a sense, like, we're learning more about God's creation, and He wants us to be able to serve others by, lost my train of thought.
It was going somewhere.
Yeah, it was going somewhere. So learning helps us to better serve others. So it kind of goes along with, like, the mission statement of, like, this university, like, to seek to learn is to seek to serve. So, like, by learning more about, like, creation and about, like the human race in general, like, we're better able to serve others and to do, like, what we were put on this earth to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. As well. So what happens when people learn information that is unexpected or hurtful? So I'll give you a little bit of background on this question. One of the articles that I had to read this week had to do with kind of an information leak on Pornhub. So all of the users and their actual names were published along with, like, things that they had watched and things that they had done and things that they had subscribed to for anybody to see. Spouses could see it, employers could see it, and it ruined the lives of not only, like, the porn stars. One of them was talking about how he wanted to be a nurse after he didn't see a future in pornography because it turned into something anybody could do. You can record a video on a cell phone and suddenly, like, everyone has seen it. So he wanted to go get a real job, and went to nursing school, got all the way through nursing school, got a job as a nurse, was doing very well, and then this list was published, and after the list was published, his employer was like, listen, if any one of the patients, like, wants to accuse you of anything, that lawyer's going to have a heyday with the fact that you were a porn star in the past, and he just didn't have a future in the medical field, and it sucks, because, like, as a biology major, I know how hard it is, and it's even harder for a nursing major, honestly. So, like, that lives was ruined, and then there were marriages that it's like, okay, these people felt cheated on, and they had to go through the process with all of that. So, what do you guys think is the benefit or, like, the information that is hurtful? We'll go back to the original question. What happens when people learn information that's unexpected or hurtful?
In terms of how it affects the individual, or in terms of
The individual, people around them, just any kind of effect that you can see from information coming out that no one intended to be out.
Okay. That kind of thing really damages reputations, credibility, like you were talking about. It ruins lives, families. I mean, really, it's just an invasion of privacy. And that kind of thing, I mean, once it's out, you can't get it back in. Yeah, you can't get it back. And you can't reverse the damage that was done. And that's, I mean, that can have devastating results.
Yeah, I think basically the same thing as you said, like, it just hurts everything around them, like, every aspect of your life it's gonna damage, because, like, the thing that you didn't expect to get out gets out, and it has, like, all these consequences that you didn't, like, perceive whenever you were doing whatever it was, so.
Right. And I think when you pull it back to, like, stuff you don't agree with, like, I don't agree with pornography. I think it is an awful thing, ruins relationships, and just takes your eyes off of the Lord for a split second. It can be detrimental for a lot of things, but it just, like, even when that's not the information that you're afraid to get out, it's like secrets and personal stuff. It's just very hard information to just be out there and for machines to know at some point. So with that, should machines be given access to unlimited information when it's going to become possible for a machine to know everything, because there are people in this world that just want to make it happen for a plethora of reasons. So what do you guys think about a machine having access not only to like any kind of biological information, but like all the personal stuff, all this information?
No, I think that can be extremely dangerous, and like machines obviously are gonna have all these capabilities that we didn't like expect in a sense, and it's already becoming the point where it's like creepy, where they have this information, like the consumer psychology thing again, where like the stores like know like what you're like looking for and like shopping for, and even like talking about buying, and like somehow like these ads pop up on your phone that you just
Like, did they bug my phone?
that
What
you
happened
just-
here?
Yeah, that you were just like talking about in a conversation, didn't even buy or anything. I think it's very like scary that they're getting even more information. So while like the most like going to have a limited information, I don't think it's right, and I think it's like extremely dangerous for that to happen. But it's kind of inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
And like Brooke said, like that kind of thing is happening now. Like that's already developing, that's already being used, and most people aren't even aware of it. And it's really dangerous because, you know, there are glitches, there are hackers, there are, you know, with artificial intelligence, it kind of gets a mind of its own. So, I mean, who knows? Who really knows
what it's gonna do with
the
all of
robots
that.
are going to turn against us?
Someone call Will Smith.
And so, yeah, that really is has potentially very dangerous effects. But I think also in some cases it can be really beneficial. I mean, when it comes to terms of like, I can't think of an example, but I know that it'll be beneficial in some way, but I really do think that the cons outweigh the pros.
like in medical instances,
Yes.
or in environmental issues, or hey, I want to build this building, but I think it might be dangerous. Siri, can you help me figure this out? Like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Do you think humans should have access to all of this information? Like, can I just go on Google and search up whatever I want because I know it's gonna be there?
No.
Humans are too petty for that.
I think they
I agree.
can also like yeah. I think you can also promote like a lot of crimes, and like I mean like these people
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
yeah
Yeah.
these people just have all this information about you that's private, and like you didn't want to get out, and suddenly like everyone knows, and like stalkers like shoot like just go on Google, figure out where they live, go to their house, snatch them up, like
Yeah.
Really?
like
Yeah.
it's crime rate's gonna like go crazy. But
Yeah, my mom said the other day that like our address is on the internet, and I'm like, Mom, that's dangerous. Why is that on there? Take it off. She goes, I didn't put it up there. I'm like, how do people have our address? That's not okay. And so for even more personal things to go out, I'm not okay with that. And it kind of scares me. How will we know what information AI can have that humans can't, and vice versa? Oh, that was along with my should machines have unlimited access, should humans have unlimited access? How will we know what humans can and can't have access to? Who's gonna make that decision?
Honestly, I don't even know if anyone would be qualified to make that decision, just because, you know, we all have potential biases, and I don't know, that's a really good question, because I don't know who would sort that kind of thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the government, I feel like they would. Not that they should, but they might. They might. I mean, they do everything. They would probably try to control it somehow, but not that they should, because I don't think they should. But
Yeah, I think it's either going to be the government or the people that can afford to pay someone
That's the answer
to do
right
it.
there.
It's definitely going to be on the money and the power, and it's going to be for money and power. And I just don't think those are good motives. Like, it makes me sad. And how will that affect the general public? Like, I think that one's kind of obvious. Like, the rich people are going to have it, the poor people aren't. It's going to be more oppression and more segregation. It's just not going to be a good day for humanity. So what would this world of machine intelligence look like for those who are not trained in the field? They aren't experts or no, like me, not technologically advanced at all.
Me either. I think that they wouldn't want to even touch it because they have no idea what they're doing. I wouldn't want to touch it because I'd be like, But I think that it would just be pretty harmful for them because they don't really know what's going on, and that can be used to their disadvantage in any kind of situation.
It's like you're handing over power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they could be like very vulnerable to it, and like it could hurt them in ways that they wouldn't even realize, or like hurting, like they could, I don't know, like something to do with, I don't really know, but something to do with like information, them giving up their information so readily or something, and then it escalating into like everyone has it and everyone knows where they live and everyone knows what they ate for dinner last night, like they just know everything, and they didn't even realize. So I mean, they're just not educated, so they're gonna be vulnerable to all the consequences. So
Right. It's just a handing over of power and a vulnerability that I personally know I'm not ready for, but I know I'm going to be one of those people that's going to be vulnerable. Maybe we should just start learning.
Maybe
Like,
we should.
Yeah,
honestly.
we're going to get on Google right now and learn how to do all the techie stuff. See you later.